round 1 of the top 8 of the Paradise Store Championships. So here we go. Here's what we got. We've got Steve, the best Steve from the Discord, on the left, and we've got Leo Anubis 23. Ooh, it looks like I have an extra S there. Let me fix that for you. Anyways. Oop. There we go. Anyways, what do we got? Interesting stuff to note about these decks. Time Traveler deck on the left. Both of these are high. So all these SAS stuff is... I took all these screenshots from prior to when the SAS changed, so... sorry that they're a little outdated now. But either way, we still all know what they mean. We're all used to it. SAS 102 versus SAS 91, whatever. Important things to note. Leo, higher amber control, lower expected amber, more disruption versus Steve's deck, the best Steve. He's trying to figure out what the format is. It's best of 3. Anyways, he's got Time Travelers, high efficiency, so he should be able to draw through his deck super quickly. The double Wild Wormholes and the double Lab Work are definitely going to help a lot. Mother's going to be also added bonus. I really like the triple John Smiths with the Compod. That's going to do a lot of work. Battle Fleet's going to help a lot in that regard too. Double Nature's Call with double Dust Pixie, a huge amount of burst going on. Leo really needs to lean on like Pandemonium, and I'm trying to find something like Too Much to Protect. Routine Jobs are okay, but it's not going to do anything if Steve just goes to like 10 plus on a turn, which is pretty easy with his deck, and doesn't have key charge to defend against. Also, like, it's going to be a tough battle for Leo to hit his right cards that he needs and stop the burst when it's important. He also doesn't have his strong bursting potential. He needs to really rely on the toxins to get a lot of value. Probably Shadow Self is going to protect those toxins. It's going to protect his Grabber Jammer. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough for him. Anyways, the game is about to start, so I'm going to drop these down and we'll just see how it goes. Sorry that the table is a little askew. I had to abandon this tournament early for personal fun reasons. It was my grandfather's 80th birthday, and so I left the stream just kind of up and running in the hands of my friends. And I'm glad they were able to take us all down for me. I really appreciate it. And it just, every time I do this, I gotta learn to get a little better. So I'm very sorry about it just not being lined up perfectly. I guess it makes a lot of sense that Steve here has the Logos, or the Time Traveler playmat, considering the Time Traveler in his deck. Starts off with an early Mother. Leo has some pretty good options here. Yep, Shadow Self Ghostly Hand's gonna burst up a little bit here. Hidden Stash to Archive Grabber Jammer, I think. Interesting choice. He's got his... Ooh, this is a little unfortunate. He drew into a Total Recall and a Hysteria here, so both those are kind of going to do the same effect in different houses. Except, I guess, well, Hysteria will bounce Steve creatures while Total Recall doesn't, but it's going to make it hard for Leo to gain any use out of his creatures. Wild Wormhole is doing a lot of work here, playing both a Brain Eater and a Dust Pixie, allowing him to burst up some extra amber here, up to 4. And he gets up to 6 total. That's a nice way. That's a good turn too. A lot of the value from Mother's helping out with that. Being able to play guaranteed 3 cards a turn. Somehow Steve found a way to play a lot more than that. I guess that's the 16 efficiency in his deck. Leo's trying to figure out, what the hell do I do against all this stuff? Total Recall gains him 1 amber. Doesn't have any creatures to return. Or, sorry, it returns the Shadow Self. It gains an extra 1 for that. There we go. That's a way to buy a turn. Well, the Grabber Jammer out increases the key cost, Steve's key to 7. Dominator is a good draw here if he drew some extra Mars creatures to go back with. Although Shadow Self is going to do the same job. but he also, it looks like he just has a bunch of dis in his hand. He has no, so he's just gonna have a bunch of high value, kind of weak creatures that are not gonna be protected. All right, Nocturnal Maneuvers to tap down Leo's creatures. Leo doesn't really want to be fighting here. He wants them to sit around and do passive work. Just keep generating that amber. Double Dust Pixie. Does he have a Nature Scroll to go with it? All right, Scout lets him fight with 2 creatures, and they get skirmish. Brain Eater fights the Mind Warper, gets to draw a card. Cool, good work. I guess he drew the Grubbling there. Oh boy, key charge. Alright. So that gives him a key and leaves him with 3 amber left over. And man, Leo's staring at this Lash is like, why didn't I have you 2 turns earlier? He really needed that down to protect against this. Pandemonium is also pretty okay card. Man, that Hysteria is also just garbage now. There is just 2 dead discard. Well, the Lash isn't dead right now. Yeah, has to discard Hysteria. Plays Lash. Pandemonia? Pandemonium is also rough here. Yep. That's it. I mean, Steve has a lot. Steve can just go back in Logos probably pretty easily here. He also has his 3rd house, which he hasn't used yet, which I totally forgot what it is. Looks like it is Mars himself. Right, he has the triple John Smith and Compod to lean on. It sounds pretty good to me. Also fighting with his Brain Eater to draw a card and kill the Succubus sounds good. It really depends on what's in his hand. Unfortunately, I didn't capture that. Alright, goes into Logos. Alright. Yep, Brainer and Succubus draws a card. Reap with Mother, probably. That is a very long living Mother. Like 3 or 4 turns now? Yep. Alright, so how many cards is he going to play? Just confirming on why this is the first time that Brainier is taking damage. Alright, discards Titan Mechanic. Passes. Okay, so he definitely has a big hand of not Logos. Picks up his archives. Goes for another big play lots of value creatures. Brings Steve down to 6 cards. Make him play a fair game. But not quite the card a fair game. And he hits John Smith. 1 of 3. Lashes for good luck. Checks with 6. This is a pretty powerful non-Shadows deck. It's just going to burst and rush. Shatterstorm. Alright. There we go. There's some Amber control. Probably doesn't expect Leo to be bursting up very high very frequently with this deck. So 6 is about as good as he's going to get. Maybe 8. But it's not really worth holding it here, especially if he's going to go for a big Mars turn. Gains 1 from the Squawker. Readies the John Smith. Plays a Marauder. Captures 0. Reaps with John Smith. Let him ready the Marauder to reap with Marauder. Interesting. So he played 3 Mars cards. So he has 3 more. So I guess he played 4 Mars cards. Okay. Right, and he had a 5th one, which was a John Smith. Leo is just going full disc control mode. Reaps with the Toxin. Actions the Pit Demon. That's an unfortunate hit. That's not a very valuable card. Way of the Wolf gets discarded by Steve. Leo's doing his best. He's got some good Mars creatures in his hand now with Zookeeper and Dominator. Psychic Network. Ooh, steals 2. Undoing all the work that Pit Demon's going to do if he goes back into Dis. For free. plays a second John Smith and an Aether Spider. So Leo now needs to have some sort of creature removal, or else he's just out of this game. Reaps with Marauder. Reaps with John Smith to ready a Mars creature. Raise Marauder. Reaps with Marauder. That's 3 Ember this turn. Checks at 7, which is just enough to get outside the range of the... just outside the range of the Grabber Jammer, which has been doing a lot of work this game, actually. Leo probably goes into Mars now, plays his own Mars board. Oh, our Pawn Sacrifice is a good option here. I wonder where he's set. Shadow Self. Yep. Interesting choice to put the Dusk Runner on the Shadow Self to steal 1 with. I guess he needs to make sure. Wow. Alright, so he sacrifices his Silvertooth with Dusk Runner that was protected by the Shadow Self to kill John Smith and Mother? Alright, or both Johns. That sounds like a good plan too. That represents a lot of potential Amber for Steve there. We still need... that was also a lot of damage that he could have used to get rid of the Aether Spider. Looks good here. Unfortunately... so Leo drew into a Mothership support, which isn't going to do a lot of work. Alright, so Steve goes back into Untamed. Snufflegator comes down. Reaps 3 times. Nature's Call? We must have one by now. Yep, there it is. Dust Pixie, and Shadow Self? Oh, just all of his discs. Alright, Shadow Self is now protecting the... oh, he has the second Nature's Call. Just 1 Dust Pixie and all Leo's cards. That represents all 3 houses of Leo's. Replaces Dust Pixie. Leo does not look happy here. He's probably going to go into Dis just so he can lash and redeploy all of his important Dis creatures. Doesn't sound like a terrible turn. Maybe the best option he has. Oh, is that too... Leo is basically conceding here, trying to figure out the math on how Lash... so if Lash is here, replays all his good creatures. Poltergeist, nothing. Because he needs to keep his Lash. Alright, so Steve is now sitting at 3. If he can reap for 6, then he's outside of Lash range. He needs to get up 7 because of the Pit Demon. So it's not that difficult. He's counting to see how many untamed creatures he's got. Yep, makes it. He goes to Untamed. Alright, Snufflegator fights Guardian Demon. Gets something off the board. Reap 3 times. Puts him up to 6. Basically force Leo into Dis, or maybe Shadows if he's got something good in Shadows that can steal 1. He does have 2 routine jobs if I remember right. Cooperative Hunting. Oh boy, that's going to murder a lot of things. For 8 damage. Pit Demon and a Toxin. Oh, okay. Doesn't mind Leo going back into Dis and stealing 1. It's not effective enough. So yeah, Leo could go into Mars here. Yep. Leo's a little tilted here, unfortunately, but he's a good player. I'm sure he can rally back from it in the game too. Look at that. Drumble is a good draw here. It's going to buy him yet another turn and let him go into Dis when he needs to. Alright, Steve goes Back into logos. Labworks archives the card. Plays his Time Traveler. Alright, Leo can't play any actions next turn, so he's really relying on that Drumble to do the work for him. Although Lash and Drumble basically do the same job at this point. Alright, Reef with Mother. Fights Brainier and a Blue Hip to draw an extra card. And get rid of an important Mars creature. Looks like he drew into a Labwork, so he gets to archive a second card. Leo's realizing he missed an opportunity to steal one here.
I can't do anything to forge myself, so I'm just postponing it until you kill my Drumble. 2, 3, 4.
Steve goes to shuffle. Steve's trying to find what's the best way to deal with this board. Mars is in. If Steve keeps putting up pressure, Leo can't go into Mars. But if he gives Leo a turn, that Mothership support and Sklocker are going to do a lot of work. The Zookeeper can reap and eat two very powerful creatures. Probably.
Postpone me one more turn, maybe? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep.
Let's see. Steve basically. I guess Steve could go into Mars and fight the. Steve can go to Mars, fight Spider plus Marauder into Drumble and get all of his Amber back. Looks like he drew a Nature's Call, which will also do the same job, but lets Leo replay Drumble. Oh, okay. Scout comes down first, so lets him fight with two Mother and Brainiator fight Dominator to kill it and get him to draw an extra card. Interesting choice. Maybe fight Dust Pixie, fight Snufflegator into Drumble. Okay. I guess he's just not going to give Leo the ability to redraw on Drumble. In case he has a Rise. I forget if he does. He needs to finish this game if he's just going up to 7 or, I guess, 10. Oh, okay, there you go. Puts his Dust Pixies back, puts Drumble back, and Zookeeper. Alright, Leo concedes there. He's out of options. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please remember to hit the like button, the subscribe, or whatever they tell you to do on the other YouTube channels. Stick around. Round 2 will be coming out shortly, and have a good night.